Hi, Jack here once again, and today we're going to talk about the clarinet's parts and how to assemble them. Let's get going. So the clarinet has a few working parts, and we're going to start with the mouthpiece, the part that looks like this. And this is going to work in tandem with a ligature and a reed. And shortly we will combine these three pieces, which will allow us to make our first sounds. But before that, we also have the barrel, the upper joint, which is characterized by the register key, the lower joint, and finally the bell. And special mention goes to the tone holes here, where we will soon be placing our fingers, and the bridge mechanism, which is right here, tucked under here, which is going to be important very soon. To begin assembling the instrument, we will start with the mouthpiece, ligature, and reed. And for our purposes, my reed's already been soaked. Before you start assembling your instrument, you should soak your reed. A lot of people do it by placing it in their mouth, like so. Keeping it there for a minute. I like to have a glass of water to the side. Makes it a lot easier for me. And I make sure that the reed is wet. Now we're going to begin by taking the ligature and placing it over the mouthpiece like so. And we're going to make sure it's loose as possible. And we're going to make sure that the screws of the ligature are facing to our right when we are looking down the hole of the mouthpiece. Then we'll carefully, and I mean carefully because these reeds are very fragile, slip the reed into the ligature, and we're going to line up the tip of the reed with the tip of the mouthpiece so that just a little bit of mouthpiece is showing, like a sliver, and then we're going to tighten the mouthpiece, or tighten the ligature I should say. Yeah, so it'll look like this. Now, before we put the rest of the clarinet together, I'd like to direct your attention to the cork, which is shown here and here. It's also on the other parts in a couple places. Now, you're going to want to feel that and make sure it's not dry. Mine's a little dry. So I have some cork grease here. I'm just going to take some, a little bit on my finger, and wipe it around the corks. And best to wipe it on a little paper towel instead of your jeans, which I normally do. Now the rest is pretty easy. The mouthpiece connected to the barrel, maybe a slight twist. The barrel connected to the upper joint, another slight twist. And I'm going to line up the middle of the reed with the register key, as you can see here. And then the upper joint connected to the lower joint. Now this is important. When connecting the upper joint to the lower joint, you're going to want to depress the key on the middle tone hole, because that's going to raise up the bridge mechanism, and it's going to make sure that you don't destroy it when you're putting it together. You're going to want to remember this every time you put the clarinet together. So another slight twist, and you'll see the bridge mechanisms will line up underneath there. See them lining up. And then finally, we've got the bell. Another slight twist. And there you have it, a fully assembled clarinet. See you the next time.